Y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has the missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash Apping, $ usual 50/50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20 with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is. It's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $ usual 50/50. Tickets are on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Push the weight and now flex. Flex the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Absolutely. Back, baby. Drew Titan Boss on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Come on in, smash the like button, like and share the video. We are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to Miguel to do anything for us, because he ain't gonna do nothing for us. Do this roll call real quick. I want to talk some boxing. Mr. Tiptoe, Taiwa, Rod Neal, T-Bell the Mac, Teach, Sheila, the real OG, Mr. Mon, Fred Richardson, Salute, Showtime Majors, Main Biker, Freedom's March, my brother, Salute, Light Eyes, morning, smash the like button. Stormy, how you doing this fine evening?
Yo, what's good? I'm feeling pretty good. Salute to the chat. Let's get it cooking.
Yeah, man. Your city was lit yesterday. You had some pretty good boxing going on.
Yeah, man. I didn't like the fact that they had it this week because, you know, all of my funds was going into other things. It's like,
yeah.
So I had to sit at home and watch it, but yeah, hopefully they can bring something like that back to the Shy, because they not only did they have a couple of good matches paired up on the card, but as you saw, the crowd at the pavilion there, they turned out and they showed up and showed out for the fighters. Kenneth Sims is from here, so it's like, you know, that was a built-in audience and opportunity for him, and he just kind of like fumbled the ball.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I have a pretty basic opinion about it, you know. We're gonna get to that. Xavier, what up? Delano, what up? First and foremost, let's get to it, man. Diaz versus Prograis. I got a strong opinion about this one, man. Let me set it off. Mr. Shelton, salute. Let me set it off. Sort of return of Regis Prograis and Jojo Diaz. Now, I have a question to you and to the audience, and I need you to listen carefully. Is Diaz a dangerous puncher, or is Regis Prograis suffering from dog years in the ring and his punch resistance isn't there anymore? Before I go any further, Stormy, let me ask you that. Is Diaz that much of a devastating puncher, or his punch resistance, or is Regis Prograis' punch resistance not there anymore?
I think off of this fight, I think it's a combination of both, because Diaz was able to show some strength there. And where it really showed up, believe it or not, it wasn't even about hitting Regis on the chin.
Right.
It was his body work.
Mm.
And JoJo's corner didn't stress it. I wish they had, because he could have easily got a knockdown with the body work. You see, that's what caught Regis. Regis was getting banged to the body in that first round, and then that uppercut came after that good body work, and it took his legs. But I do believe that the beige Smurf is a little long in the tooth with punch resistance, and it comes from fighting the way he does. If you look at how he battles, he fights with his hands beneath his chest plate. And if he's getting hit again, how many times have you heard me say, if he's getting hit like that in the fight, he's getting hit like that in the gym.
Double the amount.
You know? And fighters are very prideful. But if you don't have coaches and trainers that can stress and emphasize protecting yourself, you know, because everybody's punch resistance isn't the same. You know, you see some guys, they'll go a career of having taken major shots. Like, look at Evander Holyfield. That man took some brutal shots throughout his career, you know. Then you have other guys who seemingly can have, like Joe Joyce. He doesn't have a lot of fights, but he's taken a lot of shots, and he no longer is that guy, the juggernaut, that have that ability to take a good shot to give a good shot. It's like now you tag Joe Joyce really good, he may go down or be in peril, you know. So we see these things, and what do I say? I say watch the sport. You can see the trends, you know, you can see the transportation of a fighter going through these stages, and then you could see other fighters, they go over that hill real quickly. It's not pleasant if you really love the sport, because you always want to see guys at their best. But man, you know, but Regis, there was another thing about this fight that I remarked in the post-fight show. You know, Regis is 5'8", 5'9", but he has only a 67-inch reach, or maybe, you know, that might be pushing it. But, you know, talk about him having those little dolphin arms, you know, and he was able to use that jab that he has against JoJo, because JoJo is a little shorter than he is and has an even shorter reach than he does.
Yeah.
And it was just funny to see it, you know, that he was able to work that jab and everything. But imagine guys that is his height with a greater length, like take Kenneth Sims. Sims is more rangy. I think he's got a 72-inch reach or something like that.
Right.
Regis will have a hard time, you know. So this fight was like Gotti and Ward 1 and 2, because they were vulnerable enough to make the fight exciting, and neither guy was skillful enough to just put the other guy to rest. You know, and those sometimes can be some of your best matchups.
Yeah, true story. Let me get to the super chat, and we're gonna go back to that question. Main biker in that super chat salute. He says, let's see if Regis cry. JoJo punching him while he was down. I saw that. Their legs got tangled up. He fell, and JoJo hit him when he was on the ground. I mean, he didn't say anything about it. When I see the I see the family saying that Devin ruined him. I mean, if we want to go with that, just to be petty, we can. But like the sensei said, listen, man, how these guys fight in the ring, it's how they fight. Imagine him fighting like that with like 3 different sparring partners for him. That means this guy's taking hits. I mean, we saw James Toney over the years. We consider him a defensive specialist, and you're wondering why he talk like that. Well, he talk like that because in the gym, from what I heard, he wasn't really big on road work. He wasn't really big on, cardio. And James Toney would spar and spar and spar, and that's how he got ready for a fight. And if y'all think he didn't get hit upside his head a few times, you're mistaken. Because you're looking at his fights, it's like the CTE couldn't have came from that, because in the ring, he barely got touched. But this guy sparred at least 1 million rounds in his career. Maybe more than that, maybe 10 million. But the result is you see how he's talking. So these guys do get touched. Regis, when he got shot, he got shot. When he got hit with that shot, it was around that nerve right behind your ear. And that was in the first round, man. That was in the first round, and I said, man, this is it's gone. Now, at the end of the fight, he did say that his legs, he gets tangled up with his legs, and it looks deceiving. Nah, brother. No, brother. That's not what that was, bro. You're a professional. I've never seen Regis stumbling around the ring like that. It's like every time JoJo, he'd be doing good, and then JoJo would hit him with something, and he get the noodle legs. And I'm looking at this like, yo, where's his resistance? It's just not there anymore. Now, of course, they might want to run it back because it was such a close fight. It was high action. Diaz got cut. The cut was in a pretty good spot where it wasn't getting in his eye. But I don't like that rematch for Regis, man. Me personally, I'm not in his bank account. I don't know what he got going on. But I don't want to see him continue like that, because that was disgusting. That was disgusting. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go with a spring of spicy. He got a question for you, Stormy. He says, Stormy, why do coaches let a fighter get so comfortable with their hands down like that? Now, I know, Stormy, you mentioned the these coaches today. So I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that question and elaborate on how bad the coaching is from some of these guys today.
Well, one of the things is that there are coaches who they like to allow a fighter to be comfortable with how and what he does, instead of teaching and emphasizing the principles of the sport. Keeping your hands up at all times, keeping your chin tucked. Again, using your shoulders sometimes to ward off shots, and to be able to keep your elbows tucked and everything, a nice, guard. You see a lot of guys, they'll come in with those hands low. It leads to opportunities for someone who is well-trained and skilled to be able to exploit that. But typically, if it's a fighter on the come up, he's usually matched up well where it doesn't show until he gets to that level where things begin to balance out. You notice certain fighters, they have a lot of knockouts early in their career, and then they have a couple of step-up matches, and the knockouts kind of slow down, because now where you were hitting other guys with whatever you could hit them with or throw, that they were vulnerable to that. But more crafty guys, you're not going to hit them with the same thing. And even to give you the opportunity to land something, sometimes they are setting traps for you to come in so they can exploit what your weaknesses are. So it works that way, and you can see it a lot with fighters that have 20 plus fight and 20 plus knockouts. It's like That way, ironically, if you look at someone like Devin, who has 30 matches now, and I think half of his matches are knockouts. But if you look at who he's been beating and getting decisions over, it's like, whoa, okay, now you're paying attention because he's getting these decisions, UDs and everything over top flight fighters. That's where you learn and make a difference, because a lot of top flight fighters are not getting KO'd. You know what I'm saying? They might drop a split decision or a majority decision or something like that, but they're not getting stopped. So to evaluate what a coach is doing, they're allowing fighters to be comfortable. And I liken it to a guy that rides a motorbike. Right now, you can get on that motorbike and pop wheelies and burn rubber and come to screeching stops and hit corners and curves really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy that rides that motorbike that doesn't put a helmet on, you kind of question his sensibilities, because it's like, he's not putting a helmet on. Maybe he don't have nothing up there to protect. It's like, you just think about it like that. And if a fighter is not keeping his hands up, maybe he don't have nothing to protect either.
Yeah, that's a true story, man. So I guess the next question, Steve L. Salute. I guess the next question is, he said he's looking for a title shot. Now here's my opinion, and this is no shade or nothing. I don't like how he looked last night. He won, but every time JoJo touched him, man, it was Boogie Wonderland. And your opinion, what title shot is he talking about, and do you trust him campaigning with the belt?
You talking about Regis?
Yeah, Regis, yeah.
Well, realistically, I think he was removed from title consideration when Catterall defeated him.
Yeah.
Because Catterall is a limited fighter, and there was an opportunity for him, if he was really making another title and championship run, that was an opportunity to gain victory there, and he wasn't able to do that. And that road and task gets much harder going forward, because the division is ripe with a lot of younger guys.
Yeah.
A lot of younger guys.
Mm.
And you already heard me talk about his height and reach disadvantages.
Yeah.
There are guys that he, you know who might look good against him, really good? Africa.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd rather not, because I don't want to give Africa a mother effing thing. At this point, the way he talking, the way he moving, there is no light work. I want to see him name with top 5 guys. And right now, and I say this with no disrespect, but Regis just don't got it. Got away with one last night, y'all. DLG, salute, man. And salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to y'all. This guy, I think his better days are behind him. Yeah, that's it. And this is no disrespect, man. I did not like what I saw last night. I will say this. His corner did excellent. I will say that. They knew what to tell him to get him through the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. Xavier says, what do I think about Fernando Vargas' son? Great fight for Fernando Vargas' son. Bad fight for Regis. Regis doesn't make it out of his next fight, man. There it is, man. I did not like what I saw. I did not like that at all. I did not like that. Man, every time he got touched, he was on noodle legs. I said, no. You know what he looked like? And I say this with no disrespect. All around strong, salute. I say this with no disrespect. Y'all remember after Michael Grant fought Lennox Lewis? And after that, every time someone touched him, he was falling all around the damn ring. back. He's not old, but his jaw and resistance is now open. And it's not safe. That's what I'm saying, y'all. It's not safe. It did not look safe. Shelton says he might need to move up. I think it's too late for that. I think going in, I don't think his resistance had anything to do with him draining, because he didn't scream about that. You know, he's good for screaming about people. You know, he said that about Devin, you know, the weight bullying and all this other stuff. If it was a weight thing, I think he'd have said it last night. I think he'd have said, man, I can't campaign at this weight. I got to go up, or this is too heavy for me. I got to go down. He didn't say that. He said he'd like to run it back, but he's actually looking for if there's nothing left for him to do, he's looking for a title shot. With a title shot comes more money, you know, more notoriety. But I really think his better days are behind him, because right now he's looking like food. Think about who's in the top 4 or 5 at his weight class right now. And just ask yourself, does he compete? Yeah, man, Micah, that Dominic Michael Grant fight, and I had both of them on the show, they first to the Strong House. I didn't like that. I was like, why is he fighting Dominic Grant in the pocket? He kicked his ass at the end of that fight. I said, man, why? It drove me crazy. Michael Grant, 6'8" with all that reach. He's fighting in the pocket. I was like, what is he doing? That was bad coaching and bad decision making. And he was never the same after he fought Lennox Lewis, man. I think, if I'm not mistaken, show me, when Michael Grant lost to Lennox Lewis, didn't he introduce the world to Jamil McCline right after that? He got dropped seconds into the first round. Wasn't that his next fight? That was the next fight, right? I mean, come on, man. The first exchange, he fell on the floor. The round just started. I was like, oh my God, what's happening with this dude? And now we was introduced to Jamil Big Time McCline. Crazy stuff. Copper, what up? J-Man, DOG, salute. I was like, man, come on, bro. And the thing with Regis is, at least he can say he held a title. Career-wise, he's done more on paper than, you know, Michael Grant. And I say this respectfully, y'all. I say it respectfully. But I think Regis' better days are behind him. His days are behind him. And look, man, that's okay. But look, the people around him, they feel they're gonna get some money off of him. You know, a fighter, they feel they could. The fighters in their 60s walking around. So I ran into Ray Mercer at the MGM last year, and you know he's clearly not. I'm bigger than him now, but in his prime, this dude was a big husky dude, but he was slim, whatever. And his hands are still like bowling balls. He said, "Man, I'll beat everyone's ass right now." Yeah, you sound good, but dude, you're like 60. You don't mean it, but a fighter will tell you they'll bust somebody's ass right now. And I think Regis has crept up on that moment. And before he hurts himself, I think now's the time he needs to start doing something else. Now, I don't know if he's been good with his money or not, whatever. If he can get one more title shot and it's going to, cash him out with a very high 6 figures or a couple of mil, then, go ahead and do that, depending on the safety. But, you got to think about how you might go out. One punch could change everything. Stormy brings it up all the time. He pinpointed exactly when Riddick Bowe started talking funny. And that was after the second Galata fight, was it not? Or was it the first one?
No, it was the second fight.
Yep. If y'all go back and watch that fight, at the end of the second fight, he was mumbling right there. That's the fight that did it. That's the fight that did it. So who knows? I just did not like every time JoJo touched him. I'm like, oh, he's going. And he straightened it out. Now, what happens if he gets in there with another champion? I might get him out of there. I don't want him to get hurt. But, I don't know if he said anything about getting hit on the ground, because he was sitting on his ass and JoJo popped him. He sure did, man. I was like, woo. But, he says nothing. It is what it is, man. So, let's go to the main event, man. This is a puncher versus a boxer. I like these types of fights. Oscar Duarte versus Kenneth Sims Jr. K-Rod, I see you. Well, you know, now Mr. Holmes. Now I agree. Regis did do enough to win the fight. I left that out. I'm sorry. Regis did enough to win the fight. That I forgot. I left that out. Regis did enough to win the fight. They got it right. Regis did enough to win the fight. I'm just saying I don't like his punch resistance, but he did outland him. The jab, the corner, they did splendid. They told him stick to that jab. The jab won him the fight. And the fact that Diaz, how that cut happened was they were in the clinch. And when Diaz hit him, it popped up Regis' head, and his head hit him and hit Diaz in the face. It's like basically he did it to himself. So it's an accident, you know, but his corner did a magnificent job. Big brother in life, salute. So on to the Duarte and Sims fight. I'm just going to tell y'all, I'm not going to say robbery. I'm not going to say that. I think Sims, he gave it away by giving the optical illusion that Duarte was hurting him. First and foremost, I was listening to Junior the Truth, and salute our brother Junior. I was listening to him while watching it. And what I saw, every time Sims was on the ropes, what he was doing was he was countering him with a left hook. Now, Duarte is a classic puncher. Walk forward. He's a classic Mexican fighter. He has a pretty good IQ. He walks forward. And when I did take it off mute, they kept talking about, oh, Duarte, the power, the power, the power. Let me tell y'all something. Sims was never hurt in that fight. He was never hurt in that fight. Well, I'm sorry. There was a point where he got hit in the body, but he took that well. Duarte is not like this devastating puncher like they were trying to make him out to be. You know what I mean? Carlos, salute, brother. But he was walking forward like Michael Myers. And there was a huge difference in hand speed. What I like to see is in the championship rounds, what Sims was supposed to do, in my opinion, was to put that stick on Duarte's shoulders, his chest, just touch him and put him on the back foot. A guy like Duarte cannot fight going backwards at all. What he was supposed to do by coming around 9 or 10 is put his ass on the back foot. He had the speed to do so. Every time Sims was on those ropes, he was trying to bait Duarte, and he did it a few times. There was times he slipped in the uppercut. There was times where that left hook, he would catch Duarte's hand and then throw a left hook, and it landed like 70% of the time. But the thing was, the judges saw Duarte walking forward all night long. And when he was on the ropes, although he was busy, and again, we're in Chicago, there was a lot of Mexicans there. And every time his back touched the ropes and Duarte would fire off about a 4-punch combination, the crowd started screaming. You know, I did hear some people screaming USA for a little while. Then that got drowned out by Mexico. We got to be louder, y'all. We got to be louder. All right? But Duarte was active, but it was, to me, from what I was watching, it wasn't clean and effective punching. Was the aggression effective? According to the damn judges, it was. But I'm watching it, and it was, you know, he was getting picked off. Some stuff went through, but I thought Sims did enough to at least make it a draw. In fact, around 11 and 12, due to him still walking backwards, I was in Junior's chat and I said, listen, he just gave the fight away. He was never hurt. He was never in danger of being knocked down. But right now, this is one of those fights where they're going to give it to the person who feels like they were being the aggressor. And when the last bell rang, I said it in Junior's chat. I said, he just gave the fight away. Those last 2 rounds, he's supposed to back Duarte up. Because this dude, I'm telling you, he does not know what to do. Guys like that, Guys that walk forward, we've seen it all the time. Guys like Ricky Hatton. Guys like, well, Kasazu had a pretty good ring IQ. But guys like Ricky Hatton, you know what I'm saying? Guys like the old Arturo Gatti, those guys don't know what to do when they go, Antonio Margarito, you put them on the back foot, they don't know what the hell to do. And what Sims was doing, he was doing a good job boxing with him. The hand speed was there, but he did not put this guy on the back foot. He had all the talent to do it. So he gave the fight away in the championship rounds. He was never hurt. But I was looking at it by way of what the judges were saying. And you got to give the judges something to think about. All he had to do was back Duarte up. All he had to do was do that, and he just didn't do it. It's not that he couldn't do it. BVO, salute. He just didn't do it. And I was frustrated watching that. But I land my plane right there. Stormy, your analysis on the fight.
Typical boxer versus slugger. The slugger wasn't a true power puncher. He had a stiff punch, but Duarte needs to put punches together to put someone in jeopardy. Sims likely also needs to put punches together to gain a desired effect against his opponents. Now, what's different between the two is Duarte will try to club you wherever he can land a shot. Sims requires to punch with more accuracy and punch placement, and he didn't look to do that last night. I remarked in my post-fight that he fought every round the same.
Yeah.
Whether he took a step forward or whether he was taking a step in retreat. And at no point did he make an adjustment and give Duarte a different look. And by not doing that, Duarte got into a rhythm of just outfighting him. He wasn't beating him up, but he was, as Max Kellerman used to like to say, he was the guy that you would have rather be after a round.
Yeah.
And the lack of urgency to make adjustment and change things up, switch things up a little bit from Sims's point of view is where I had a problem with, because you're fighting in front of your hometown. You're on a large network, DAZN. If you can do some things here, people are going to take note of you.
Yeah.
He didn't fight with that type of urgency. He didn't fight with that type of mindset that says, hey, you know, this is mine tonight. And sometimes it requires a trainer to get in your ear about it. We remember the fight that took place between Evander Holyfield and Michael Moore, and that's where Teddy Atlas made his fame there, being on Moore's case in the corner in between rounds, because as a derby jockey, he was riding Moore to do more things and to do more and to push himself and everything. Do it for your son, do this. But it wasn't just empty words, because Teddy was saying the right things in the right moment. But for whatever reason on that night, Moore didn't have his killer instinct with him. Because I've seen him go in there against guys and go life and death. Guys like Alex Stewart and Burt Cooper. Anybody remember those wars that he had? And he's a mean, son of a gun. But against Evander, I don't know if he was just cautious of Evander because he knew, because Michael Moore was a very intelligent fighter. Holyfield was the kind of guy you don't want to get him stirred up. If you're boxing him, you can box him to a decision and possibly beat him. But if you get him into a fight, the man has almost seemingly an endless well of a reservoir of deepness to dig into. And it's like many a fighter found like, oh, I wish I didn't start this guy up, So maybe Moore was thinking that while Teddy was in his ear. But now that it's all water under the bridge, your coach and trainer should want to press you to do some things differently, even if it's switching up your tactics, your strategy. But don't just, especially if the fight is not being when you're looking at it, it's like it's kind of even pace, right? It's like both guys, oh, I could get this round to either guy or whatever. Someone has to create that separation. And at no point during the fight did Sims do that. Duarte was only able to do what he was able to do because he was the one that wasn't as athletic. He was the one that didn't have the hand and foot speed. He was the one that was more singular dimensional than Sims was. So it was almost like, oh, you're going to let me stay in the fight this way? Well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Sims didn't switch anything up, and he ended up losing a decision that could have gone his way had he just done a couple of things differently through the fight. And it's kind of a shame because I've talked about this, about the good quality black boxers not getting decisions just because they don't score a knockout. But you can do things to make them have eye on you. Like I gave the example of Ray Leonard against Marvin Hagler. Leonard and his camp came up, devised a plan that if a round appeared to be close between he and Hagler, he would rally with 30 seconds to go.
That's right.
And throw more series of punches and move out of the way. And he did that against Hagler. And he didn't even do it every single round, but there were moments during the fight where Ray would open up with a volley and boom, 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 and then step out of there and then move away. And Hagler has to reset and try to come after him again. He did that enough in the fight that it impressed the judges, you know? And that's something that Kenneth was more than capable of doing himself. If he had dug down in moments of the fight and just thrown serious combinations, because his hand speed is pretty good. I remarked also that he reminds me of a bigger version of Shushu, but Shushu is a little bit more polished, but he's capable of doing what Shushu does. He has the talent, the ability, the technical ability, the movement, and the athleticism. But the mentality, that's the thing. Because even in the post-fight, he said he didn't hit as hard as I thought he would.
Exactly.
You know, well, that's very telling, because it's like, if you thought he was this big puncher, that kind of kept your hands at home. Once you realized that he wasn't, you were supposed to take more risks. And
Correct.
He didn't do that. So he's going to go back and look at that film and be angry at himself.
He's going to kick himself in the behind. He sure is. He sure is. And you know what I noticed? When they went to the corner, do you recall them going to his corner to hear what was going on?
You all recall what now?
Do you recall the camera going to Sims' corner so they could listen into what was being said? Do you recall that?
I think they did it a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was really interested in this, in the hearing what was being said in the championship rounds, because rounds 10 through 12, those were the rounds he was supposed to smash the gas on this guy. Those were the rounds he was really supposed to like put him on the back foot. He definitely has the talent. He had better footwork. He could have been in and out. And like you said, at the end of the fight, he said he didn't hit as hard as I thought he would. When I took it off mute, I kept hearing this stupid, and I swear, I can't stand this dude, the Latin snake in the grass, Sergio Mora. Oh, the power of Duarte, the power. I said, and I was a junior shot, I said, this dude's not cracking. This dude's not cracking like people say he is. He's not a monster. He has a menacing physique, you know, and he fights like that, but he's not cracking. He's really not. He's not. And I mean, look, man. I said, man, when he hit Sims with an uppercut, if this dude was cracking, Sims would have been on the floor. Because Sims did make some mistakes. But he ate those punches. And I said, man, he's not wobbling around. Not like how Regis was. So I said, man, nah. He needs to get this dude in rounds 10 through 12, those championship rounds. Hell, even round 9. He was supposed to at least went to 30 seconds on the clock. He had enough speed and talent to provide some lateral movement, jump in, 2-punch, 3-punch combinations, get out, and make it a dogfight the last 3 seconds. But he didn't do that. And like you said, he fought the same way every round. It gets to the point where, you see, he may have been comfortable enough thinking, okay, I can fight like this, but I'm at home. And he got to take this from me. Nah, brother. And they showed you. And the thing is, he had the talent to do better down the stretch. He just didn't do it. And that's why I wanted to know, back of the South, salute. That's why I wanted to know what his corner was telling him in those last 3 or 4 rounds. Because I don't recall. He was supposed to put this guy on the back foot. All he had to do, like Duarte was providing the illusion that he was beating him up on the ropes. Nah, he was laying there willingly and trying to counter him. I get it. But he was losing rounds when he was doing that. And Manic's scorecard sometimes, I'd be wanting to jump through the screen. I don't know what the hell he'd be watching, but whatever, man. But he was supposed to dig deep. Matter of fact, he even had to go that deep. Because he's better than Duarte. He cut himself short. He was supposed to go in his tool bag and switch it up and engaging with this dude. Because what I know with all of these menacing Jason Voorhees type of fighters, especially these Mexican dudes, you get in the mix with them and you land first, he's not going to know what to do. You put Duarte on the back foot, he's going to look like a different guy. And you see, Sims don't even have to be a devastating puncher. All he has to do is land first. He had the talent, he had the hand speed, he had the foot movement to land first. He stayed on those ropes in the championship rounds, and I said he's not in trouble. But this is eye candy for the judges, especially with Mexico screaming in there. You in Chicago, they were screaming Mexico. What are y'all doing? Whatever, I ain't even gonna get into that. But my God, and I said in Junior's chat, I said he just gave the fight away. He gave it away. I really wanted to know what his corner was telling him. I really wanted to know. He gave it away. He could have won it. Those last 3 rounds, he could have won it. All he had to do was switch gears. We always talk about switching gears with these guys. All he had to do was come out, engage, take a risk. You already know he's not cracking hard. But then when you get the better of him in an exchange and put him on the back foot, that changes everything. Now Robert Garcia is going to be in the corner telling him to do something that he's not used to doing. You know he trained to go in there and back this guy up. This guy's not a menacing puncher. He's just a menace. Some of the greatest fighters that were bullies in history look like different people when you back them up. Mike Tyson, when he got backed up, what happened? He lost. You understand? I mean, come on now. I'm just disappointed in the brother. And I wanted to know what his corner was telling him. What did his corner say? I hope they wasn't in there telling him, yo, you're doing good, kid. You got this. No, man, stop lying to him. You're at home, they're screaming Mexico. The judges just watch this guy walk forward. His hair's still combed perfect. Come on, man. Get the fuck off those ropes. Back him up. He's giving eye candy. You got to give the best eye candy. All you got to do is back him up. It's frustrating, man. So goddamn frustrating. Oh, boy. So anyway, that was the card last night. I feel like I'm missing something. Shit. I feel like I'm missing a fight. I can't remember right now. Wait a minute. Wasn't there a fight on Friday? Did I miss that? Was there a fight Friday?
It was, but those were like little lighter weight guys. They were smaller than Bam Rodriguez.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, they were little guys, 102 pounds or something.
Good Lord. That's strawweight. Jeez Louise. All right, so what we got to look forward to? Whew.
Dillian White is being made to be a sacrificial lamb to Moses Ituoma on the 16th.
Let's cook on that. I'm not gonna dedicate a live to that. I'm gonna do the post fight. Well, let me just ask you, Moses Atuma and Dillian White, your thoughts?
It depends on how motivated White is, because as far as his personality, to use BFTB's words, White is cheeks. but as far as his ability, he's unpredictable because he can crack. He has a very good left hook, and he has the experience of having been in there against quality fighters. You can't take that away from him.
True story.
And
hold me down, Stormy. I got to do something real quick. Hold me down.
Yeah, no problem. And there's no substitution for experience. You know, you can be a young guy and be on the come up and be exciting and thrilling, and they're touting you like the new Mike Tyson of the UK and all of that, as they're doing with Atuma. Have the legendary gym exhibitions where he's held his own against quality names. But you can get in there with a guy who has seen all of that before and make you look bad. One of the fights from the UK where that happened most recently was Dave Allen taking on the big country kid from the UK. Why does his name escape me right now? And it happens. The experienced guy can pick you apart. So it depends on what White shows up. If White is motivated and he's got something to prove, because he was looking for that second fight against AJ, and Hearn and Matchroom kept pulling it away from him. And so now he's accepted this fight. And Johnny Fisher, thank you, Carrera. Appreciate that. Johnny Fisher, for whatever reason, his name would not come to me, but I'm seeing him in my mind. Fisher's name would not come to me. But White really wanted the second opportunity against AJ. And I think he should have got it, because they're local guys who competed against one another on a come up where they had a very exciting fight. AJ won the first one. It would only been right to run it back. They had faced each other in the amateurs, and it was kind of back and forth with them in the amateurs. But now here we have it. They didn't allow White that opportunity to face AJ again. So he's going to go in there against Atuma. Now, Atuma could wax him in a couple of rounds or less. Or he could take Atuma some rounds and give Atuma the type of experience in a live action fight that he hasn't had. And we'll find out how Atuma responds to that, if that is what transpires. But White has never been a guy easily to engage or to gauge how he's gonna come in mentally or whatever. I've always remarked about him, he looks different when he's training and when he gets in the ring to fight. It's like, what happened? Because you could see him on the beach running, you could see him in the gym posing, and you look at White, he's looking good for the fight. And then on fight night, when he gets in the ring, he got a belly. I'm like, where'd the belly come from? He was training, had an 8, 9, 10, 12 week camp, looked good in the photos and stuff. and then gets in the fight, and he comes in there, and he looked like a 40-year-old man. It's kind of crazy, but it happens. If you go back and you watch him, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Dillian Whyte has come in like that. He'll be looking in the gym, and he'll come in on fight night and he got a dad bod. It's like, what the hell? I thought he was training.
That's from him dipping and dabbing in that stuff, man. I'm telling you.
I know, but do you know what I'm talking about? Because I think you and I had a little laugh about it one time, because it was like about 3 or 4 weeks before a fight, they had showed him running on the beach.
Yeah.
And I think he was in France or something. He was in some place where it's like, what the hell is Dillian Whyte doing there training? But anyway, that's what he was doing. And then on fight night, when he took off his robe, he did not look like the guy that was in the photo running on the beach. It's like
what the hell was that?
Happened?
Yeah.
Crazy. It was crazy, man. And he's done that more than once, a few occasions. He's done that.
He has, man. It's a confusing dude, man. And salute to Mr. Shelton. He says Sims hurt Oscar with counter rights twice. He didn't. He did. He threw that fight away. Smoke and talk, real Baltimore in the building. Salute, man. Now, Carrera, and I'm sorry, y'all. For some reason, YouTube, I'm looking at y'all ats again. I don't see y'all names up there. Some y'all don't see y'all names, so I'm sorry. Carrera says, I'm betting on White to knock out a tumor. We've seen stranger stuff, but is it so strange when it happens? You know what I mean? White is the veteran. He's the veteran. He might know something that we don't know. He might make, and that's what Stormy's talking about. He might make a tumor have to dig into a bag that he didn't know he had to dig into. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, all of this is possible. All of this is possible, man. He says the tumor is too green. We're gonna find out. Because again, White is supposed to be the veteran.
The one thing that I know about Atuma is this. He has that average heavyweight size. He's about the same height as Usyk. He's 6'2.5" or so, 6'3", so he's not a 6'5", 6'6" guy. And then the other thing about him is that he likes to throw wind-up shots. He'll wind up like Bob Greasy on the mound and throwing a fastball or something. But, fighters who can get on the inside of that stuff and nail you, that stuff doesn't work. They've talked about his rumored sparring sessions with a variety of UK known fighters, but we know that sometimes those guys over there, they don't really conform to being great fighters, and they have poor habits and whatnot, and they get exposed and exploited. And they fall in love with a guy who can crack a little bit.
Yeah.
Damn the boxing technique. Damn the being able to be slick and athletic and move and have a little bit of dynamic technique. But if you can punch, they're like, that's what they put at the top of the list.
Yeah, expand on that, because a lot of people don't. That might be leading into what Carrera was saying. He's saying the tumor is too green, and I think that falls right into what you brought up to me, what we talk about.
Yeah, because we've seen a tumor knock guys out. He winds up, throws punches at the top of their head and the back of their head, the side of their head, but we never seen him come out there pumping the jab and moving around and stepping around and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, he's in against guys that have been tailor-made to make him look good. However, what about someone who doesn't conform to that or is capable of doing more than what the other men have been doing? Then he's going to have to pull out something else, like if someone is making him come for them and then he is able to set traps for Atuma and Atuma's coming in and you're catching him in spots and stuff like that, that can lead to some frustration there. And then lo and behold, don't get hit with something good and sharp, because then he's gonna be embarrassed. You understand? It's like, oh,
he can punch. He can punch.
No, I'm talking about if Atuma gets hit with something clean, he's gonna be embarrassed. He's like, oh, he caught me, and the crowd went, ooh,
right.
Even though I wasn't really hurt. Am I really hurt? You start to think and doubt, and things like that can happen. And a fighter with the experience of a Dillian Whyte can bring that into a match.
Yeah.
So
this is a step-up fight for him. And that's what I was saying a second ago. That's what I meant. We don't like Dillian Whyte. I don't support him at all. But the dude could punch. If he lays hands on you and catch you clean, I mean, look, we've seen his knockouts. I mean, I like Derek Chisora, but he leveled him. He slept him badly, bro. He slept him badly. He hurt AJ. When AJ got a little overzealous, he hit AJ and buzzed him too. So Dillian can punch. He can punch. So what kind of guy is Atuma?
And he beat up on Joseph Parker too.
He did. So I don't like Dillian Whyte, but by today's standards, he can fight. But look,
he's been a solid top 10 guy his career. He has. He just, like I said, you compartmentalize things. You realize that his personality is cheeks, like I said, but his ability to fight in the ring. And there's another thing that's going on with him that's really weird. He's got a shrunken head. It's like his head is very small, and I think because he's got broad shoulders and everything, it's like it's hard to catch him, with the normal stuff. And I think that's why uppercuts have been favorable against him, because when guys are going up top, they're not getting to him. When he's been hurt with the uppercut.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He got a small head.
Yeah, then his head is kind of small.
Oh,
his
man.
body,
Now that you mention it. Oh,
it's
Lord.
true.
Oh, Lord. That's funny as hell. Good Lord, man.
Been on one of them islands and them pygmy people shrank his head. They start burning them things and the smoke come out, and Dillian walked out of there. His head was a few inches smaller, shrunk.
Oh, that's funny as hell, man. Like what's those dudes from Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh man, Autism Boy, I got you, brother. I got you. I thought you was registered already. I got you. And
it's funny. Like, it take me to point something out like that. Then once you think about it, you be like, "Damn, Stormy, right?" But I'm not trying to make fun. But it is funny. But I'm like, I noticed it a long time ago. I'm like, this guy got the head of a 10-year-old or something. I don't know. It's on his body.
Oh crap. That's funny as hell, man. Good Lord, man. I can't unsee it. So is he an actual sacrificial lamb, or are they, what? I think this is perfect timing for Moses Atuma. He has to win. I'm not gonna say necessarily he has to dominate. The brother earlier in the chat, Carrera, says he's too green. I think it's perfect timing because Jeff Sparks, salute. They're putting him on this pedestal, man. So I think it's a perfect fight. Bill D, salute. It's a perfect fight. See what he's made of. I mean, right now with the landscape being what it is, it's sink or swim. And if it wasn't Dillian White, who would it be? Dillian White's been a top 10 heavyweight his whole career. All those fights for Moses Atuma as it stands right now, since he's a young and up-and-coming quote-unquote puncher, every fight is a step-up fight, and it can be dangerous. I mean, Derek Chisora could beat him. Dillian White could beat him. We're going to throw him in there with Joe Joyce. That could be a nightmare. Joseph Parker, he's just not there yet. So I think Dillian White's the perfect opportunity. It's the perfect test to see where he is. Now, I'm going to tell you, if he gets in there and F's around and loses, you know Dillian White's, he's not going to shut up about it. He's not going to shut up about it. This guy, he absolutely, he has to show up and show out. And I say this about all of these guys today. You hear me say it a lot. Right now, most Atuma is career eye candy, especially for the Brits because they back their fighters so much. I'm just saying I can't gauge him. You've heard me say that about a certain fighter before. I cannot gauge him right now. And if he can go in there and dominate Dillian White, what's going to happen is if he beats Dillian White, the other part is we're going to sit there and say, hey, man, you know, beat Dillian White, but it was Dillian White. You know, he might be washed up or, you know, there's that. But if he beats Dillian White, he's going to have to go to that next level. So if he beats Dillian White, I mean, what does he do next? They might throw him in there. They might try and dig up Zilly's arm because he's coming off the loss. You know, the verdict's out on him. We don't like it to the body. You know, I mean, there's a lot of work, and when you really think about it, at the heavyweight division, there is no light work. He's not at that level yet where he can say, you know, I'm gonna get my feet back and see how I feel. So I'm gonna take a couple of tune-ups and no, you're up and coming, bro. You're this world beater. Let's do it. Because low key, no, forget low key, high key. You know what they're doing, man? High key. They're looking for the next AJ. And Moses got the look. You know, he's team light skin. He got the curly hair going for himself. I'm telling y'all, they're looking for the next AJ. AJ, I haven't reported on it, but I heard AJ's flirting with retirement and things like that. Look, I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't spoken about it. But it's funny how all these dudes, you know, AJ, Tank, Stormy, we ain't been right about these guys the whole time.
Dude, it's like they almost check every box, don't they?
Yeah. And there's nothing to debate. There's no argument. I'm just sitting back and now you see I haven't commented on those AJ comments. I don't know what's going on. But I'm like, where's this coming from? These dudes they're getting their skirts pulled up, man. They're getting their skirts pulled up. And there's a whole lot of things that listen, I just wanted Anthony Joshua to fight Deontay Wilder for unification to see who's undisputed. He didn't give me that. He's gone all around the world with his career, and we still didn't get to fight. Well, he kept his word. He said he'll fight Deontay Wilder when he knows he can win the fight. And he said that like in 2015, 2016. We're now in 2025 going on 2026. The fight ain't happened. So he kept his word. I'll give him that much. You know what I'm saying? Tank Davis thing. Look, it's not all over the internet. Look, I don't know what that kid's doing. But what I'm saying is, I was not wrong about those guys. I was not wrong about Tank Davis. I was not wrong about Anthony Joshua. Not wrong about those guys. I keep telling y'all, we've seen this shit before. We've seen it. But these new kids, it's new to y'all. But the difference is, y'all can't let go. Grand Region Thrash, salute. Y'all can't let go. Jay Bean, what up? You rock with these dudes unconditionally for, I don't know, they speak your language, from your town, they from your borough, they your uncle. You met them once, you like their hair, you like the car, whatever it is. Look, man, as Stormy says, love the sport. How about that? And I'm gonna tell you, it's refreshing just to love the sport. You know why? When you love the sport, you can have a favorite fighter for those reasons. But if you love the sport, you're not as emotionally messed up if they do take a loss in the ring because you understand that it's boxing. But when you're online fussing and fighting and arguing for a person that doesn't deserve that type of attention, when that person makes you look stupid with their personal decisions outside the ring or not doing what they're supposed to do inside the ring, you're left holding the bag. They robbed the bank and you're left holding the bag because people are going to look at you and say, well, can you defend this? Why the hell did they do this? And why did he do this? Why did he look so bad in this fight? Well, you explain it. And then when you look at these fools and get them to explain it, you find out something. You know what you find out? They don't know shit about boxing. They're real good at bullshitting you, but they don't know shit about boxing. They don't. So y'all go ahead and have these love affairs for these fighters, man. I have a bunch of favorite fighters. I have fighters I've supported over the years. But I was always content with their outcomes, win or lose. I was content when I know that they gave it their all. When I knew what was going on, I'm cool. I ain't have no meltdown when Bud obliterated Errol. I understood what was going on as I was watching. I said, oh, well, and I was happy for Bud. It is what it is. J-Man says, Wardley and Atuma, for who the real deal is between them. If I know business, if I know Frank Warren and how he moves, he's going to keep those dudes far away from each other until it means something. If one has 2 belts and the other one has the other 2, that's when they're fighting. But in the meantime, Frank Warren, he promotes both of those guys, right?
Yeah.
He's going to keep them away from each other. It's too early.
Right now, Warren is running the heavyweight division just like Don King did.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he got all of the guys under one roof, basically, except for AJ. And that's why AJ ain't come back too quickly after the Dubois fight, because there's a wall of guys all under Frank Warren for him to fight. Hearn ain't got nobody for him to fight.
Oh, man. AJ's in the rock and hard place. That's probably why he's talking about retiring.
Yeah, because they tried to run game. Check it out. The Day of Reckoning. We remember that, right? That year started out with them talking about AJ and Wilder are going to fight before the end of the year.
Yep.
Then as the year was going on, it became AJ and Wilder are going to be on the same card and build toward a fight, by the end of the year. Then the end of the year came and the Day of Reckoning was AJ against, what's his name? Otto Wallin. And it was Wilder against Parker. And it was like it changed up several times. And it was never said that the two of them would face each other contingent upon winning their bouts. That was going to be the fight next, because Turkey was going to put the money up, and it was and AJ walked away from it. In fact, on fight night, if we go back to what Tay Jones had shared with us, he was talking about retiring then.
Yeah.
Because he was afraid that he might have to face Wilder. And when Wilder lost, and remember, they went back and forth about who was going to be the main event. Remember?
That's right.
It was going to be AJ possibly the main event or Wilder possibly the main event. And then finally, I don't know, they flipped a coin or whatever, sliced a piece of bread and threw it out the window and see which bird ate it first. I don't know. Then it was AJ in the main event. And when Wilder dropped the decision to Parker, it was like AJ had been told, you are not the father. You know what I'm saying? And he fought Otto Wallin like with a little more confidence and everything. and won that fight. But said the diplomatic thing about Wilder in the aftermath. Oh, just because he lost the decision doesn't mean it's over for him and everything. He can come back. I'm sure he can come back and blah, blah, blah. But he never said nothing about fighting him. Never did. So he escaped and dodged that bullet. So he has been one of those guys that has consistently over the years shown us something different.
True story. I like what whoever says here.
The public doesn't, hold him accountable for that. They don't. Yeah, and what happened, I said years ago was going to happen, ended up happening. AJ had 3 belts. Wilder had 1. They piddled around, and Wilder had the Fury situation, and AJ had the situation with Ruiz. But I said they're gonna mess around, and they keep fighting these fights that don't really do anything for AJ. He's not getting better, and the division is gonna catch up to him, the young dudes. Mm-hmm. And at that time, it was Joyce, Hergovic, Dubois, help me out, Drew. It was a couple more.
Joyce, Hergovic, Dubois.
It might have been Parker mixed in it, and with that blend, it was White. But there were an assortment of heavyweights out there.
Russian, Povetkin,
yeah. And see what but the younger guys, like, because you can consider, even though his age is up there, Joyce, he was considered young as far as how many fights he had, and they were all threats of one sort or another. And AJ wasn't looking to fight. Oh, King Kong Ortiz was in that mix too. So AJ wasn't looking to fight any of those guys. I said he's gonna mess around, and somebody's gonna, elevate and get up there, and that's gonna be it for him. And lo and behold, it turned out to be Daniel Dubois, the very guy who he had trouble with in the gym, going way back to 2015 or whatever, when we heard about that. I think Dubois was like 19 or 18 in the gym, knocking AJ out. Remember that?
That's right. Said he slept him.
And we were saying, like, wow, if he getting knocked out in the gym, man, it's like he ain't gonna do too much in the pros, because that's why he's not fighting nobody. And that sure is what they were doing. They were sitting on those title belts. See, Hearn was just relishing being a promoter that had all the belts under one roof like that. But see, Frank Warren did it different. Frank Warren had the talent under the roof. And all the talent got to do is go out there and get a belt. You get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt. Next thing you know, we're running the division with you guys having belts. But see, AJ had the belts, but wasn't fighting anybody. If that was Deontay Wilder would have faced whom he had to prove that he's undisputed or whatever.
That's right.
He would have done it. But see, that's what they were trying to avoid, because see, the one thing that could be attributed to Wilder when he was in his energy back in at that time, Wilder had a mouth like Larry Holmes.
Sure did.
And they didn't want that. They didn't. Because you know what comes out of that? Other fighters wanting to be like him.
You can't have that.
Exactly. Now look, there's not another fighter like Wilder, is it?
Nope. Not on these shores. Nope.
Yeah. And you know the irony is, check this out. Nobody wants to talk about what they did to the brother. Everybody kind of knows in some way, shape, form, or fashion what was done to him. But ain't nobody trying to be him either. So they got the job done.
Yep.
Isn't that sad?
They let it happen, brother.
When Larry Holmes was the heavyweight champion of the world, there were other fighters out there saying, I want to be like Larry Holmes. I want to beat Larry Holmes. I want to be the next heavyweight, whatever. When Ali was the heavyweight champion. People want to be like Ali. You had an assortment of fighters from Tim Witherspoon, Tony Tubbs, what was his name? Michael Dokes, Greg Page, and there's one more that I'm forgetting at the moment. But all of those guys aspired to be like Muhammad Ali.
Pinklin Thomas?
Not Pinklin Thomas, because these men were all in Ali's camp. Quick Tillis, there we go.
James Tillis. Okay.
See, all of those guys wanted to be like Ali. But Larry Holmes came along, and they weren't as good as Larry Holmes. Greg Page might have been as good as Larry Holmes, but they never fought. And for whatever reason, Larry Holmes despised Greg Page. He would not fight Greg Page under any circumstance. So then the division got a little fat, literally, and guys were abusing drugs, literally, and Mike Tyson was able to come along and squeeze through there because you had a lot of half-assers, you know, and he found a niche, got in there, and became the youngest undisputed champion in history. But there was still an assortment of fighters out there that if Mike would have faced him when he was supposed to, he might have lost before Buster Douglas.
True story.
But a lot of people don't think about it like that. They just see the dominating highlight reel knockouts. But Mike Tyson was being kept from certain fighters too, and Don King was running the division.
You say that all the time.
Who would have loved to see Mike Tyson and Ray Mercer?
I was just about to say that.
Mike Tyson and Burt Cooper. Mike Tyson and Michael Moore. See, we're talking about fighters that were on the flip side doing the same thing he was doing, you know, but he didn't face those guys. And I'm here to tell you right now, Mike Tyson and Burt Cooper would have been a knockdown, drag out affair because Burt Cooper would show up some nights and you needed a gun to beat him.
Man, listen, ask Evander Holyfield. You almost got out of there, bro. That was crazy.
Ask Ray Mercer. In fact, Ray Mercer said in the ring after the fight with Burt Cooper, because his jaw looked like he looked like a chipmunk, like he had an orange inside his jaw. That's how big his jaw was after his fight with Burt Cooper, whom he knocked down either in the first or second round. And Cooper got up and fought like blazes the rest of the 10 rounds. Anyway, Ray Mercer said in the ring, he's like, you know, they always talk about a fighter getting a definitive fight where he steps up and, you know, he finds out what he really got. He's like, well, I had mine. I hope I don't have no more. That's what he said when he fought Burt Cooper.
Cooper was a murderer, man.
Yes, he was.
And that's what these young cats don't know. There was a litmus of fighters that Mike did not fight in that era. All right. Matter of fact, what's the name that was kicking his ass in sparring? Oliver McCall. You know, I mean, these guys don't know. But I praise Mike, and I say that respectfully. And salute to my brother BFTB in the building. Salute. He said salute to my brother and my uncle.
Salute to BF. He gave me a nice compliment earlier today. I appreciate BF, man.
Yes, sir. Let me go back to what this brother said. He said, if you want quick cash, then sign with Hearn. If you want longevity and guiding career correctly, sign with Frank. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that at all. Because
that sounds pretty spot on to me.
Yeah, they know what to do. They're over there, and they're running things over there in the
and
UK.
Warren's been in the business for 50 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows. And he had to go up against Don King a lot himself. So he kind of knows like how to do it. I'm going to tell you something. Out of the fighters he has, the best fighter he might have might be Fabio Wardley.
Yeah, you know, I'm watching that kid, man.
And the reason being is because Wardley has all of the intangibles that Kurt liked to talk about. Salute and shout out to our dearly departed brother, Kurt Sugar. He used to talk about the intangibles. And boy, that boy Wardley has that.
Yes.
Doesn't have the amateur pedigree. And in the live action bouts of pro career, he's had fights where he's stepped up and stepped up and stepped up. And each and every time someone was supposed to be a formidable, an opponent against him, like David Adelaide, he defeated him. Then it was Big Frage. He defeated him. Now recently it was Justice Hooney. He defeated him. It's like a winner is a winner. You know what I'm saying? And Fabio is that guy like that. And you know what? He has a great personality. He is not a braggart. He is not a, and I was hoping that he would have got the fight with Big Baby Miller, because Miller was talking all that junk to him. Miller responded like, man, what is this dude talking about? Saying I made a rap song about. He's like,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah. But boy, and Hooney was outboxing him and everything. He was losing practically every round. And then, just like Deontay Wilder over here, boom.
Yep.
Fight over.
You see, that's what Frank Warren meant. He wasn't necessarily saying that he has Wilder power.
Right.
What he was saying was, this dude has that, dare I say, Wilder mentality.
Yeah.
Wilder loses rounds until he's not. And you listen, in between rounds, Hooney was outboxing him clearly. And I'm like, man, this dude's going to go 12. I don't even remember what it was 10. He's going to go to the 10th round. And this goes to the cards. It's over. And I saw Fabio, he didn't look discouraged, but he was getting pounded on. False. But he was like, man, in his mind, I saw it. He was like, I'm not out this fight. And like you say, sometimes these guys come out, they fight one way. The thing with him was, he only knows one way to fight. Fight. Not box. Fight.
Listen, when he fought the first fight against Big Frage Clark, Frage had busted his nose up pretty good. And he had knocked Frage down, and Frage got up. It was kind of back and forth, but I thought Wardley pulled it out, but they called it a draw.
Right.
Dude, in that second fight, he hit that dude with that overhand right. It was like he had the hammer of God. Yep. He even knocked that dent in the side of Fraze's face. The same dent that Wilder ended up getting against Fury. But we know with Fury, it was something different going on. But that was a punch by Fabio that hit that boy. Yep.
Regis Thread says he wants to see Fabio versus Cabiel. Not yet. I don't want to see that yet.
I want to see Cabiel get a title shot because he's earned it. He really has. They keep putting men in front of him, hoping that somebody bump him off, but he's beating people.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
Exactly. When you have a guy who goes out there and he just wins like Fabio, I want to see him get his title shot. Joseph Parker is out there clamoring that he deserves a shot. Dude, you was just a couple fights ago knocked out by Joe Joyce. What are you talking about?
I agree. They said
this guy Cabiel beating up all these dudes and beating up on the young guys too. You know what I'm saying? Wardley beating up on the young guys.
I mean, this is the next generation right here.
Huh?
This is the next generation of guys coming up, man. They got they're earning it, man. So I agree, man. I'd like to see Cabiel get his title shot, man. I'd like to see him get his title shot. Throw him in there with Parker. I agree. In the chat, I agree with that.
Man, I would love if they put Cabiel in there against Parker, because that's going to be the real end of Parker right there. That would be the end that we have prayed and hoped for. Unless you're a Parker supporter, because I believe that Parker is a sucker, man. And I'll tell you what I mean by saying that is this. He had a chance to fight and unify with Deontay Wilder years ago when Deontay
I remember that, bro.
WBC champion. And he went and ransomed his belt over to Matchroom and Hearn.
Sure did.
And in a fight with AJ where the referee didn't even let him get close enough to AJ to smell cologne. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it was ridiculous. And then after that, he went and aligned himself with Tyson Fury. He's a sucker.
Yeah,
You're supposed to be wanting to beat these guys, not join up with them like LeBron James or something. What are you doing?
Yeah, I ain't like that at all. I'll never get over that. Autism Boy says Fabio versus Torres. Let me tell you something about Torres. He'll never be ready. Torres is going to get sparked really bad by one of these guys. Eventually, he's going to get in the ring with these guys. But look, Torres is too herky-jerky. I know he's not even a big puncher. He just has a high work rate. But when he fights, look, and I say this respectfully, he's the American guy that's supposed to be next up, looking like Ron Jeremy and shit. But look, man, I'm not sold on Torres, and I say that respectfully. The names we just mentioned, from Parker to Cabiel to Fabio Wally, all of these guys beat him. I'm not sold on him. He's too herky-jerky. He's a big, strong kid, but he's not a power puncher. He has a high work rate. All you got to do is tie him up. Once you get him past 6 rounds, he'll get battered all around the ring. So I'm really not sold on him as the next American champion to do shit, really. And I'm just going off of what I see. Now,
look at J-Man's comment.
He said Nacho Libre? God damn it. He said Nacho Libre. Damn, I ain't got the soundboard. Fudge. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's an Uncle Pecos right there. Oh. Yeah, but I agree with Boxing Phantom. And listen, man.
It's funny.
That guy, just go watch his fights, y'all. Just go watch his fights, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He fights nervous. He fights like, I got to get the guy before he gets me type of shit. He's not relaxed. He runs in there. All he needs to do is get in there with a guy like Edgy Cabiel. He'll run over to him and start throwing punches, and Cabiel will punch him in his ribs, and the fight will be over.
And let's not forget another fighter that I think they're trying to age out, believe it or not. And it could be the fault of Top Rank, or it could be the fault of those who are mixing. Maybe he needs to leave Top Rank. I like Effie Ajaba's chances too against some of these guys.
Yeah.
He beat the big dude. What's his name that he fought? And they called that what they call it, a draw or something?
Martin Bacoli.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the outcome of that fight. I think it.
I thought he should have got the decision, but he didn't. And because Bacoli, they keep trying to see. I know what they're trying to do with Bacoli. They're trying to save him for somebody to knock him out, and it be because I don't give Parker the credit for the dude took the fight on 24-hour notice, basically.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving. And he looked like he got right off his living room couch, got on the plane, came here and put on somebody else's trunks and everything, and got in there and got hit on top of the head and went down. It was like, what? That wasn't the dude who faced Jared Anderson. It wasn't,
Oh my God, Jared Anderson, please. Yeah, exactly. You notice how no one's talking about him no more, right? See that?
He's not even talking about himself anymore. It's like all that wearing pimp daddy outfits and prison outfits and all of that stuff. It's gone now, ain't it? Huh? Comfort dogs and all.
Shout out to what's his name? I was promoting him. What's his name? Jay Prince. Shout out to Jay Prince with all that bullshit. Now, Bakudir Jalalov. I can't even say his last name. That guy looking all right. What you think about him?
Yeah, he's looked like someone who might have some potential, until somebody hit him in the jaw. It's always, nice to see guys not getting these knockouts and stuff. But what I really like to see is when guys are having a little bit of a pushback and they figure out how to win still. That's what I go for. You know, I love to see a guy be able to switch it up and come back.
Right. Yeah, the heavyweight division's I'll say it's in good hands, but the majority of the talent is coming across the pond, man. Because I don't see anybody over here. The new era is what I'm talking about. The new era. We ain't got nothing. We had Jared Anderson who just got slept in. He ain't look the same. And Ricardo Torres, don't trust him. You know, I'm talking about the new guys. You know, our brother Deontay's on his way back. You know, he's working. You know what I mean? You know, I had pretty good hopes for Andy Ruiz, but I'm scared next time we see him, he's gonna be 400 pounds. You know, we ain't got, and he's American, by way of Mexico, but he's American. But right now, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warner's running shit. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. But
now on that card with White and Atuma is an interesting little fight that'll be the return of Philippe Hergovic taking on David Adelaide. That's going to be interesting because Hergovic, if we remember him in his performance against Daniel Dubois, you know, he was landing right hands at will against Dubois, and Dubois walked through everything. Now, Adelaide is a guy who can punch a little bit, maybe not as strong as Dubois,
right?
But he's got a little more athleticism in him than Dubois has. But he's got the mouth of Jarrell Miller. Yeah, he does. Yeah. He talks big time stuff. But you go back to a little fight that he had the 10th month of 2023, October. He got stopped by Fabio Wardley. Now, in that fight against Fabio, he had been fighting a lot of guys and getting 1 and 2 round knockouts. So his fight against Fabio was a step-up fight, and it was also a crossroads fight for Fabio because they were going to say, like, you know, if Fabio can handle a guy like this that's young and talented, strong, can punch and this and that, maybe, maybe Fabio is for real. And guess what? Fabio took that boy's heart. You could see it happening during the fight. He took Adelaide's heart and he dropped him and he stopped him. I liked it.
Yeah.
But he's only had 2 fights since then. And that was in October of 23. So he's had only 2 fights since then. And Hergovic, since his loss to Dubois, has had his UD over Joe Joyce. So this is going to be an interesting fight because if Hergovic got anything left, he should knock Adelaide out. He should.
Man, I mean, look, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Boxing's very versatile right now, if you pay attention, which is why I really don't like focusing on 1 or 2 motherfuckers that I can't stand because of the fan base that comes with it. But you see what we're talking about right now? This is boxing. This is boxing. This isn't USA versus the UK or Africa. No. This is one big pot of gumbo. And we're trying to pick out and dissect what's the best part of the meal right now. What makes this pot of gumbo great? You understand? And it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. And I love having conversations like this. You know, we're talking about Adjikabiel. That guy's the sleeper. Man, listen, that guy could beat anybody. You understand? And if you think Zilly Zong is done, he's not. Hergovich is about to come back. You understand? We're talking about Fabio Wardley. It's very, very diverse. And this is all I want to talk about. This is all I want to talk about, man. These conversations are fun, not fantasy bullshit. I don't want to talk about fantasy matchups with both of these goddamn fighters that we're talking about could fight, what could happen. They're both in their prime right now fighting. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I like having conversations. What if Ed Norton fought a Mike Tyson? I have fun with it. But the bottom line is, we'll never know. But those are fun conversations. You know what's not fun? I'll tell you what's not fun. What happens if St. Davis fights Shakur? How is that fun? Why are they not fighting? And then you're arguing with a fanatics. I ain't gonna get into it, bro. Because we're having a great show right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why don't talk about that. Let's keep talking about the fighters. Also on that card, Raymond Ford was originally supposed to take on Sam Noakes, I think, but that fight got nixed. But there's a replacement. Raymond Ford is now going to take on Abraham Supernova, the man with the mascot. Man, I'm loving this opportunity for Abraham, bro.
Yeah. This is good. Which y'all don't realize is boxing right now is in a real good place if you pay attention. We're going to find out who loves the sport or not. We're going to find out. Because I'm having fun with this. I actually enjoyed the fights. I was rooting for Sims, but he dropped the ball. I'm looking at Prograis. I think he needs to pack it up. Did you see this conversation we had about the heavyweight division? Doesn't that tell you that the heavyweight division is alive and well? It's alive and well. And I'm loving it. And I don't know who this whore is in my chat, this diabolical. If you're looking for my brother BFTB, why are you here looking for him? You talking about we have no honor. You're here looking for him. You're following this dude. Which means you was watching me. As soon as he dropped a super chat, you get to talking. Get off my dick and get off of his, you slut. Get out of here, bitch. Get out of here. And that's, you know what's crazy? That's probably
created August 1st, 2025.
Exactly. That's probably not even a woman. That's some dude that got a woman's picture. That's a dude.
Transsexual. That's what he is, a trans.
And you on here watching me, we're talking boxing. My brother drops a super chat, and then you get to make on the page just to talk about him. That is gay. See why I call you dudes gay? That there ain't no woman following him around like that. That's a dude. Now picture this. You're a dude that made an account and used a woman's random pick. Dude, you're a tranny. If you want him to smash you, just ask him. He ain't gay, but just get it off your chest. Y'all like putting shoelaces on your chest, and y'all know what I'm talking about. You trannies. We're talking boxing here. Go fulfill your sexual dreams somewhere else. Candy wearing Hosier. Get out of here. Anyway, love boxing. And with the landscape right now, I'd say for the most part, Stormy, the sport has been doing pretty good. The sport's been doing pretty good. You know, we're not going to get 100% of what we want, but the sport is doing pretty good. We might not get the behavior in the ring, like this Danny Dubois thing. I spoke to you tonight. That shit happened. And you said, I ain't talking no boxing for the week. I was laughing, but I was like, damn, I didn't blame you, man, because that was just some bullshit. And then when I found out the dude was partying and his father enabled that, and I said, man, we just gave this brother all this credit, picked up his dad. And this is what they do? And this is what we talk about with being responsible. And I'm at a place right now where at this point, you know, I was mortified. But at this point, I'm not amped to see Danny Dubois come back, bro. He's gonna come back. But for him to get back in my good graces, he's gonna have to beat the world, bro. He's gonna have to beat the world. I just really don't, man. I don't know, man. They said Dubois' family allegedly messed with the occult witchcraft. I don't know, bro. I don't know nothing about that. I don't. I know Caroline don't deal with the dad, and I didn't want to get into that. But now I'm looking at it, and there might be something there. I don't know, and I haven't even cared to like delve into that. But I just know that I didn't like what I saw coming out that brother's camp. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and everything that came up, they didn't dispute any of it.
Well, one thing that really Caroline has still consistently held down what I said about her originally. I said that she very well may be the best fighter in the Dubois family.
You did say that a long time ago.
I said it a long time ago, didn't I? And she's still holding it down. And it was very gratifying to hear Clarissa Shields give her credit when she was leading up to her fight this recently that she just had. She was conducting an interview, and they were asking Clarissa about being an ambassador of the sport and who would you like to see step up and take, you know, your place when you decide to step away from the sport. And she said that there's plenty of young girls out here that boxing will be in good hands whenever I finish. But she was like, one person that I like is Caroline Dubois. I was like, yes. And then Clarissa was saying that one of the reasons is she's hardworking and everything. She looks up to me. And I've had conversation with her, and we've shared notes and everything. She's asked me questions. I was like, now see, that's what I'm talking about. Because you and I have had conversations about fighters not passing on knowledge of the sport and stuff to one another or whatever. So if Caroline has formed that type of relationship with Clarissa, that's a wonderful thing. And it means that she's smart enough to know that she can kind of cozy up to someone who is more experienced and who has got a lot going on, and kind of take that example into the future. That's great. Instead of hating on her like Alicia Baumgartner's doing, and some of these other women that are out here that don't want to pay homage and respect to the woman's achievements in the sport. You know what I'm saying? So it was great to hear that. And even when Clarissa has been in the UK, where she's shown up at fights over there, when you see her seated, I don't know about now because she's got her man with her now, but when she was going there and she was over there representing boxing by herself and everything, Caroline was either sitting right next to her or a seat or two over.
That's, I was going to say brotherhood, they're women. That's sisterhood right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Mentorship, and that's all you can ask for. And see, that's why I respect Clarissa, man. Because you want to talk about a code? Oh my gosh, bro. Half the brothers need to take note from her, but you know, they at each other's throats so damn much. It's disgusting. And salute to Nada 86 in that super chat movie. He says salute Drew. And salute to Stormy B, man. All caps, no cap. And salute to the mighty LDBC. Much love to everyone in the chat. Keep cooking on the job, man. On the job. Carrera says Spencer Farron exposed them. Drew, have a look. Yeah, I did see the video. Spencer Fairmont subbed to me. Salute to him. I was looking at my subs a few years ago, and I said, is that Spencer? I clicked on the name. I said, oh, shit, it is. It is. So Spencer follows me. Salute to Spencer. And salute to Tunde. I told you, Stormy, when I went to the presser a couple of weeks ago, and he was there with Anthony Yard. And I went up to him, and I said, Tunde, what's up? He said, Drew, what's up? I said, oh, shit. And I forgot. He knows me by way of Black Fight Fan, you know what I mean? So he knows all. So he knew who I was. I was like kind of like throwing me for a loop. He knew me. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, so salute to him. And Stormy, I can't wait to talk. When we get closer to the to that card with Benavidez and Yard, people gonna be shocked. What I got to say. But man, I can't wait. We get closer. We can talk about that, man. I can't wait, man. I can't wait, man. But that was what's been pretty good to us as of late, with the exception of I'll say the sport's been good to us by giving us what we want. But we have no control on what the fighters do in preparation and what they do in the ring and reference to their performance. I'll say that. But other than that, the sport's been pretty good to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, when I talk about, all you gotta do, like I say it all the time, look at my facing page, the subjects and stories that I put out, how I cover. It's a whole lot to talk about besides just a couple of people,
Right. The premieres are very key. Watch them every morning. And you talk straight boxing. It's boxing. If you love the sport, you're not subscribe to Stormy B Man. Might not love the sport as you say. You know what I'm saying? Keep the drama. You don't entertain the drama. I keep the drama to a minimum here because it just finds me sometimes. But I'm all about the sport. Everything that I'm talking about is a reference to the sport. And if we don't get what we want because a fighter can't keep it together outside the ring, I'll talk about that because the out of the ring shenanigans prevents them from operating their career to its best capacity. Because of their out of the ring nonsense. That's when it spills into the ring. That's when I'll talk about it out of frustration. You understand? So love the sport, y'all. And those are my closing words, man. Stormy, let them know how they can find you, brother.
People can find me right here on YouTube. The channel is Stormy B Man, and that's Stormy B Man in all caps with no cap.
It is, brother. And salute to y'all, man. The meetup next week. Be there, be square, man. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda, the Cash App. Okay. Salute to y'all, man. Always keep it boxing, man. I do the best I can. Do the best I can here. Stormy just does it. You know what I mean? Not perfect. It's all about the sport. I will be live tomorrow. And I will be doing pep talk sometime this week. I got a lot to say. And be on the lookout for my Patreon. I got some fire content coming out soon. All right. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.